County Board of Education meeting on, the 6th at 1700 Wallace Central Office Building. I'd like to welcome everyone. All board members are present. How you, Miss Becky?
Good. How are you doing?
I need a motion to approve the agenda, seeing no changes need to be made.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Jones so moves.
Second.
Miss Ashley seconds. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Public comments, Mr. Kentucky Davis, are you here? Not seeing him, moving on. Ms. Becky, board member comments.
Oh my. Well, I understand it's Teacher Appreciation Week, and so I just want to extend my appreciation for what they go through each and every day. Cannot imagine, but I know we've got some outstanding teachers and staff members and administrators, so yeah, it's a good week to appreciate them. That's all I
Anything
got.
else? Ms. Amanda?
No, not at this time.
Ms. Ashley?
No.
Mr. Jones?
Follow up with Becky too. Are we doing anything as a board to appreciate them?
The Educational Excellence Foundation is helping sponsor, and we're grilling out for the staff every day. We did the upper and the middle school yesterday. Mr. Jury is pretty handy on the grill. We were at the high school today. We'll be at the lower tomorrow, and then we'll be at transportation on Thursday. So we're feeding them all this week. So with some good hamburgers, hot dogs, and other things. So.
All right, sounds good.
Anything
That's
else,
all I
Mr.
got.
Jones? I'll reserve. Moving on to item number 5, discussion items. Discuss, review board policies and procedures. I'll let you go first there, Mr. Orban.
When we were kind of looking at this, we did find, and I know there's some policies we want to discuss tonight. There's one that is essentially a duplicate. There was one policy about drug-free and alcohol-free schools that the board updated, that when we were going through and looking at some, there's essentially a duplicate, but one has an extra paragraph. So policy 03.23251 we need to remove because it is an old policy.
We don't need to remove that policy. That policy is still there, but we got 2 policies under the same policy number, date and everything. The first policy was in place, the second policy, the second page back, I think the second paragraph down,
Yeah, the next to last.
was what the board added to that policy. So it was given the same policy number and date on the date was updated. We updated on 8/20 of 24, but when that policy was put in that paragraph for the, borrow this minute, Jake, post-discipline drug testing, the other one didn't have it in it. We added this one, and somehow both policies got left in there. So I'm gonna start going through all the policies and see if we got any other duplicates, that the policy was put in with the other policy, and both policies are still in the book.
So the wording is the exact same except for the addition of the paragraph.
That is correct.
So we should remove the old one, so
Yes.
there's no discrepancy of.
That is correct.
Okay.
So, like on the KSBH website where they maintain the master list, they got 2. The KSBH got 2 03-13251s.
I didn't look at KSBA,
Just
they was
here
in
on
our
our-
policies.
Okay, but I mean, when you pay KSBH to do your policies, they got the master list on the website. So,
Yes, sir, I
it'd be
understand that.
interesting on the website. I would assume they've got the right one. Don't know that, but
You know what happens when you assume.
yeah, I know. But I mean, I would find it shocking if they had 2 03.13251s. Did you check? Jason?
No. This one actually has, for whatever reason, it actually does have a different policy number.
Correct, that was the 013251, I think.
Well,
Okay, but this one's for classifieds. I mean, your 032351's for classified. See where it says classified, this is for certified. See,
And the new
031321's for certified, 032351's for classified.
Correct, Jake, but when we done these, we put it under personnel and things. And the policy covered certified and classified.
Yeah,
When we updated that policy, we made it across the board for everyone.
so you need to, so you need to have the KSBA added to the classified then.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
You see what I'm
The
saying?
policy's done been written, had the 2 legal readings on it.
Yeah.
And approved. I just wanted the board to know
Yeah,
that we was pulling that one, and this is putting the correct policy in there.
yeah,
And
But-
then, no, I did not check on KSBA's website to see if that policy,
yeah. I mean, when we hire them to do policy services, they maintain the master list.
I understand that, but if we check in that box that gets sent to us every year, if they just check no changes, then KSBA assumes there's no changes. If we didn't send them the updates and stuff, KSBA does not know
I
to
agree
update
with
them.
it. I agree with it, yeah,
So,
yeah,
It's just a discussion item. Can we?
correct.
yeah.
We've discussed it. Can we have that checked on by our next meeting and
Yeah.
take action?
I wish I brought my tablet. Yeah, I mean, we'd log in now. But yeah, I'll check on it. We can check on it. And I mean, I doubt on their end they've got 203-251. So we can make sure they've got the right 03-251. If they did not add the language to the classified version, which is 03-2351, we make sure they add it to the classified. And that should solve the problem, I think.
Yes,
Okay.
So Jake, when you say KSBA maintains a master list, do you mean on our website or you mean on their site?
It's on their site. Our website links to theirs. When you go onto our website, you know, you click on
Yeah.
policies and it takes us to the KSBA website. And so you can, I mean, regardless whether you go to KSBA's website or you go to ours, which links to theirs, you get into the same place.
Okay.
Either way.
The
Okay,
hyperlink.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, hyperlink. There you go. Fancy word.
Gotcha.
any other discussion on that? Hearing no further discussion, moving on. You're up, you wanna introduce yourself?
I'm Nicole Bishop, I'm the new Director of Special Education.
So,
Nice to meet you all.
nice to meet you. How's it going? For what,
Going
2
good.
weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks
Yeah.
in, it's going really good. I got a board going in my office, so some summer work. So we got, the teachers, some special education teachers and paras and outside people, some little donuts this morning for teacher appreciation, so they liked that, so it's going good.
Awesome. Well, great, welcome.
How long you been in the education profession?
This is my 22nd year.
And you come Boone County,
I spent 16 years in Jefferson County Public Schools.
Oh.
That's where I started out as a young 21-year-old in an inner city restorative classroom. And then my husband took a job at Great American Insurance right before COVID. So 6 years ago, we moved 2 dogs, 2 kids, and I worked for the past 6 years as the autism and behavior coordinator for all of Boone County schools.
did you get to work with Shawnee?
I did, and actually when Shawnee wrote the book with Keith Look and I kind of did that together. The last 2 weeks of school in May, way back when, 10 years ago, I was in charge of holding down the fort on 16 kids who had been suspended more than 15 school days. So,
Welcome aboard.
thank you.
Moving on, item 6 on the agenda, recommended action in new business. Item 6A, approve layback funding amendments. Mr. Jury?
Yeah, building the lab over there at the middle school, there were some things that the layback funding will pay for and some that they won't. So just to offset, we're gonna move some things around, pay for some salary, free that salary money up to pay for the things that we need in the lab. So we can't do that without you guys amending that budget. I sending it back to KDE for approval. And KDE's already said this is fine, we support this.
Also move.
Second.
Ms. Becky moves, Mr. Jones seconds. Any further discussion? I've got a quick question for you, Tony.
Yes, sir.
You said you want to use part of that for salaries?
Yes, sir.
That's not adding anyone, that's just
No, that's just,
coding?
yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 6B, review, approve Infinite Campus License Agreement. I'll so move.
Second.
Mr. Jones seconds. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 6C, review, approve emergency certification of upper elementary teacher.
This is routine, I'm assuming.
This is just someone that didn't get their certification in time or whatever.
Yes, and it's one that, you know, if their test comes back within the next couple of weeks, we will not have to use. This just kind of covers them, just in case.
Elementary teachers were caught up in something this year. EPSB is requiring new praxis exams, and universities did not do a good job, and neither did our teacher candidates, realizing they needed to take this to get from provisional certification in the program to full certification. So we've got 2 or 3 teacher candidates caught up in this, and it takes time to schedule practice and to pass. They don't even have to pass it. We just need them to take it and get a result. We can get another year provisional, or they can get fully certified. We just, right now, they're
So it just costs them money.
costing them money, costing
Exactly.
them headache, causes you guys to pass a motion in the board meeting.
I move to approve.
Miss Amanda so moves.
Second.
Miss Ashley seconds. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 6D, review, approve change for gifted and talent allocation from a full-time position to a part-time position, and lower elementary RTI allocation from a part-time position to a full-time position. I'll so move. We'll discuss it after we get a second.
I will second.
Ms. Becky seconds. Open for discussion. Who wants to give the explanation on it?
So what we're looking to do is, you know, redoing some schedules, at the lower elementary. They have to have all their RTI services done by 1 o'clock, because that's when, if we have a part-time person in there, that's as long, as they can be there. What we have kind of found, when they're doing their reading instruction, they get the small group reading. You know, normally that's when the teacher pulls, you know, different groups of kids and can work with them. Well, that's when the RTI teacher is having to come in and pull those kids out. Now the teacher is still working with other kids, but that lowest group's getting pulled out and worked with by somebody else. What this gives us the ability to do is, now their teacher in the classroom is going to get to work with them, and then later on in the day, they're still going to get an opportunity to be pulled by this individual because they're going to be there at the day longer. We're increasing services for those students in our lower elementary that need more support in reading. And to offset that, we're asking to take our gifted and talented position from a full-time to a part-time. So we're essentially looking to swap those. So not wanting to create anything additional, just swapping full-time and a part-time.
We don't do much for our gifted and talented to start with, in my opinion. So what effect is cutting this to a half position going to do to that?
So I think part of the thing with what we're supposed to be doing for our gifted and talented population is a lot of that is actually on the classroom teacher. So that's incumbent upon us to make sure we're showing them ways that they can do some of these things. Also, I know, and I can just speak specifically to the middle school because we've had, well, and even I think the lower, they've been able if we can do this during some RTI time, this gives the ability to pull some of the higher kids out that are above grade level and have some of our specialist teachers there that can do some extension activities with them that they're not getting the opportunity to do now. So the middle schools kind of carved that out, and they're doing that during their morning RTI block. This gives the lower elementary the opportunity to be able to kind of do the same thing for some of those students. So this, that work is not specifically the job of this gifted and talented individual that's here throughout the day, but they obviously work with the teachers and help make sure that those students have opportunities throughout the course of the day to get some gifted and talented, to get pushed.
So the teachers are doing most of the work, the gifted and talented person is mainly just showing them what they need to do.
There's a lot of oversight to that, so, Tony, I'll let you speak to that. I've kind of spoken about my depth on it, so.
Okay, so it's a gifted and talented coordinator position, and so that person, you guys remember Jacqueline Myler, I'm sure,
Mhm.
she did that for years, and she would just go, when I was FFA advisor, I had my list of kids that were gifted and talented, and they got service through FFA, and it was her job to report that, to check up with me and find out what I was doing, and she did all the reporting for KDE, and so that's kind of the role of the coordinator over the years. As with other things, we tend to say, well, that's its own program and it needs its own coordinator, and she's gonna run and do everything for those GT kids, and that's not the appropriate design. So we need to really look at that. And when we had the discussion, you know, when we look at the needs of what's gonna help our district move forward, it's catching the kids, K2 that are falling behind coming in and getting them caught up on second and third grade level before we send them to third, fourth, and fifth grade. So kind of balancing the need, what's the greater need? Both of them are big, but what's the greater need? You know, there's some other things too that we're looking at. But that's, yeah, there's no complaints either with the person that's doing GT work. They're one of the hardest workers in the district, so there's no complaints there. We just sometimes you gotta run it like a business. And, gotta make things balance.
I'm gonna call the question. What's the pleasure of the board?
It makes sense to me. I think during the summer, maybe we can have more discussion on what we could do for GT. But I think, yeah, for the time being, we need to focus on RTI.
Agreed.
Ms. Ashley?
I mean, I definitely agree on the RTI, focusing on that for sure. You know, and if they feel like the gifted and talented, if this would work well, then I agree. But if we don't feel like it will work well, if we feel like it would be better to keep them both at full time, then I think we need to have that discussion at some point. That's just my thought.
Mr. Jones?
I don't disagree with anything either one of you two said. I'll still stand by my statement that I don't think we do much for our GT program, and I'll hold very firm on that. So I guess the only thing I would say is I would like to see a review of what was done over the last 9 calendar months of the school year, when we possibly do our little retreat or something, where we can at least see what was done last year, so that we can give some type of
Ms.
assessment.
Jones, if you'd like, I'll withdraw that motion.
No, I think we probably need to do our motion. There isn't anything here that tells me we shouldn't do what we're doing,
Okay.
but in the process,
Absolutely.
Something? Yeah, y'all are hesitant. I agree, because, I don't know, I feel like a lot of the time we're focused on catching people up, which is fine, that needs to happen, but a lot of the time I feel like the kids that are trying to reach something else, you know, that are above, that are either on or above that level, that are really trying to hit a different goal, are kind of lost, and it's just like there's nothing that's given to them to reach, you know. It's like, so they're kind of just the students that are willing to go the extra mile aren't really given the track to do that, you know. Yeah, so I think you're right. I think there needs to be maybe a different approach or something for it, but downsizing it seems like it could go badly.
Well,
again,
and something else that we're planning in the works to do, to kind of to your point, to make sure we're giving kids opportunities. We're looking at the potential right now to be able to add some high school credit courses for 8th graders next year. So that's something we're working on, to try and push some things down, to go ahead and get them ahead of the curve a little bit, so when they get to high school, they've got the opportunity to have more dual credit opportunities, because they've already gotten some of those credits taken care of. you know, but at the same time, if you would like us to come up with, you know, a gifted plan or something to ensure in every building that we're, you know, what is the plan of every building? What are we doing to ensure those students are pushed? And have me report out about that sometime in, you know, maybe late June, early July. I'd be more than happy to do that.
I'm just coming from once being in a position similar to others who are here, that usually you got to a certain point of the year where you pulled things out of the hat to justify why we did some type of a program when we really didn't do much of a program. My experience of 27 years in the school district, we didn't do a whole lot. So if we're just telling it like it is, that's shame on my group when we were in charge. But I don't think that's a segment of our society and the school that we need to ignore. I think we need to find some way to be able to push them, just like Landon said. So I mean, I don't disagree with what we're doing here in D. That's probably what we need to do at the moment. But I do think it would be one of those things that this board ought to consider. Maybe we need a full-time position of gifted and talented as well as whatever we're doing here.
Yep.
But I think for the short term, I would vote yes to be able to move this along. Is that good enough?
Yes, sir.
Have we called your question properly?
Who made the motion?
I motion, Miss Becky second, and I want
we've now
discussion
taken
from.
a roll call vote now, I think, so I think it's 5-0.
No, I just wanted
You're
input
learning,
because,
John.
He's good.
You're learning.
no, it's like John said, you know, these positions here, I agree, we don't have gifted and talented
I agree.
forces in this school. Mr. Jury, Mr. Arvin, when we put the agenda together the other day on it, I said I would stay neutral in it because I lean with Mr. Jones heavily on this, that we got to do something different for our gifted and talented in the school district.
Yep.
And you know, I wanted your all's input on this because is it something that we're gonna throw away and not that group of kids away just because, well, they can pass, so let's not reward them or anything? And I'm glad our student school board member spoke up on it,
Yeah,
because like I said, I'm neutral in this vote. There's people in this room that's more qualified to advise on this than I am, so.
We'll just put it as a
So-
topic on our retreat and talk about the structure, because obviously it sounds
Yes.
like it needs restructured, and what qualifies these kids that are actually gifted and talented. So we can definitely do a deep dive, I think.
So we've got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. And, Tony or Mr. Arvin, remember that and get us something put together for the retreat.
We will.
Next item, and Landon, you're more than welcome anytime you to speak on any of these. They didn't have a place for you on the agenda, but anytime you want to
Okay.
speak, anytime you want to tell us something, please speak up.
Yeah, no, that's just, when I came up, any level it was available, I was always in that program, and it wasn't, whoever was in charge of it at any point never did a bad job with what they were given, but I felt like the job they were given was either too vague, or it wasn't enough. You know, it was more creative thinking, which was good, but it wasn't the push that I felt like a lot of us kind of wanted. As you know, if you're getting through the curriculum you're given easily, you're wanting something else to push you, and then later on you're still on that same track. You know, if you're getting the stuff you're gonna get later on, you're just gonna be ready to do that again when you get there. So I think
Yeah,
having that
well
would
spoken
be
from
nice.
royalty. Nice job.
Item 6E, it just says review approved 25-26 Ohio Valley Education Cooperative. What do we approve?
I think there's an agreement, it's supposed to be an agreement there, but
Yeah.
just our
Membership.
agreement with
The support
OVAC.
or whatever.
You have that document?
Yeah, we looked at it.
And nothing changed in that, did
I
it?
make a motion to approve.
Mr. Jones so moves.
Second,
Miss Amanda, was it Ashley or Amanda on that one?
Amanda.
Miss Amanda, seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item 6G, we need to enter into executive session.
Hold on, we got
Yeah,
F still.
one more.
Our nutrition
Oh,
is the Michelle
sorry about
Obama
that.
plan.
Item 6F, review of both KDE School Community Nutrition Program, intent to participate. I so move.
Second.
Mr. Jones seconds. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side.
Mr. Chairman, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Miss Becky.
Before we go on, can we give Landon the floor for 5 minutes? And
Yes.
we haven't really heard a lot from you, and I know your time is coming to an end soon, and you were, let's see, prom king, I think, since we've seen you.
Tennis
And
champion.
Tennis champ. What are we
We
missing?
can talk about all that.
Yeah, just tell us what's going on.
I think
You've
you
been
committed to a
busy.
university too, didn't you?
I did.
Made
yeah.
some decisions.
I think, did I mention the charter presidential when I was here?
No, I don't
I
think
did
so.
get the charter presidential at Western, so that's
Nice. Congrats.
$16,000 a year that will cover it after I get the rest of the money where it's supposed to go. So I'll go to Western. Yes, prom king did happen. I was not trying for that one.
But you didn't turn it down, right?
But
you-
no, I did
No,
not.
you didn't turn it down.
No,
Okay.
I was not going to be the bigger man. Sorry. But yeah, no, it's getting close. We did NCKC. The tennis won it 4th time in a row.
Nice.
I think it's the longest span of titles of any team yet. So hopefully next year after the seniors bail, the rest of them can keep it up. But it's looking good. Very successful. The regionals for us are next week. So hoping to get me the 4 seed. Go to state, finally. Taking too long. And hopefully a couple other teammates seeded, actually. I've never actually seen us get more than one team seeded in each bracket, so that would be nice. It's been different this year. We've gone into teams that normally you go in and it's scary, and you're looking at them like, really? We killed Oldham County this year. I've never seen us beat Oldham County, and we beat them 4-1. So yeah, that's kind of been the year. Not tennis, not me related. The scholarships, all the local scholarships, just a thanks to them. I feel like is in order because we had. I think I applied to about $10,000 worth of scholarships, just local, that are just our grade level of our school. So, I think everybody was really grateful for that. I know quite a few people that applied for those. Yeah, I think the KSA rewards that happened the other day for the state testing last year.
Mhm.
A few people, quite a few in those pictures for the proficient distinguished. Obviously, more would be the goal,
Yeah.
but congrats to those. But,
So you'll be with us the next meeting, the end of the month, right?
yeah. thank you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll stick with you for a little bit longer.
Okay. Come on back.
Thank you,
I
Landon.
know you'll miss me too much if I leave too soon. Get y'all a replacement before you lose me. Come on.
All right, work on that. Thank you.
I got a
Gotcha.
quick question for you. You're talking to the students out there and things.
Yep.
Have you been emphasizing how important these testing that's coming up and stuff is for us?
I'm trying. I think you'll know the seniors don't really care.
Right.
That is not news.
So,
okay?
but yeah, everybody else. I love the hanging the stuff in the halls that says basically, "This is bad, be better." I think that's fantastic. I think it's great. Even more, I would not complain. I think that's a perfect thing. Yeah, I hope it turns. I think effort is the biggest problem. But I know I've talked to Jury a little bit about different options to try to mix it up, try to get them a little bit more interested in it. But it's tough.
Yeah, it takes time.
Sometimes you can't teach effort.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you, and
Problem.
we definitely appreciated your input this year.
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Because without you all we hear is one side of the story.
Oh, I appreciate the role being available. It's nice. It's because a lot of the things. When I hear y'all talk about it, you're talking about how it's going in the school. It's good, but getting that opinion from somebody when
Yes.
you're talking about the GT. I've gone through it recently. Been through the whole program, so it's good to have it.
Anybody got anything else before we go into closed session? Here, no further discussion. Item 6G, need to enter into executive session regarding KRS 61.810, paragraph 1, subsection F, for discussion or hearing which might lead to discipline, dismissal, of expulsion of a Gallatin County student. I'll move to approve the action in executive session,
Put both in there.
both actions in executive session. Thank you, Jake.
Second.
Miss Amanda seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Adjourn.
I'll make a
Mr. Jones. Done had you wrote down, John. Mr. Jones so moves. Miss Ashley seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
There's
Thank
two-
you.
Two things
Thank
we're
you all.
known for.
Yeah, but my first year, it used to
Call
be-
the question.